All right, Mino Hotate, please be seated.
Ko te tangi a te pipi wharauroa, kui, whiti whiti ora. Whiti ki runga, whiti ki raro, whiti ki te whaiao ki te ao maramati hei Māori ora, tēnā koutou. I te tuatai ka mihi atu au ki o tātou tini aitua, ka wihi atu rai i tua te arai, nō reira ki a rātou, haere noho mai rā te rangi Māori. Nō reira ka huri au ki te ao tangata nei, nō reira koutou, ngā manuhiri tuarangi no tui te moana nui a kiwa, nau mai, haere mai I rongi te kāranga a ngaitahu me ngaitua huriri ki tēnei ngā Pākihi whakatekateka o Waitaha. Haere mai I rongi te kāranga ngā maunga e tuana ki uta, ngā tūpuna o ngaitahu nō reira. Tēnā koutou, tēnā rā koutou katoa. Koutou hoki ngā whānau, me ngā iwi I rongi te kia Māui I haere mai nei ki te tautoko ngā whānau, ngā tauira, ngā tākuta, o te wā nei, tēnā koutou, nau mai, haere mai. Ai te motunga o tōku kōrero, ka huri au ki a koutou ngā tauira, e mihi tēnei mō te rā, te pōtaitanga o te rā nei. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā koutou katoa. From Ngaitahu and on behalf of our tribe, it's a pleasure to stand here with the university, on behalf of the council, with the council and with the faculty here to greet you all. And in particular, the tribe always requires that we greet our international visitors who have come here to support their families today. So to you all, greetings, and we greet you with our mountains who stand inland as our ancestors. So on behalf of Ngaitahu, to everyone here today, to the tribes and to the families who have come from throughout New Zealand as well, greetings, tēnā koutou, nau mai, haere mai.
Good afternoon. I welcome you to the University of Canterbury and invite all present to stand, remove trenchers, and join in singing the Māori and English versions of the first verse of the national anthem as in your program and displayed on the screens behind me. Please be seated. Ka tangi te titi, ka tangi te kaka, ka tangi hoki ahau. Tihei Mauriora. Ro rangatirama, no mai, piki mai, haere mai ki te whare wānanga o Waitaha. No reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou katoa. It is a pleasure for me to welcome you to this University of Canterbury graduation ceremony as I serve a second year as your elected Chancellor. I can report to you that the university is in good heart. After the worst that nature threw at us in 2010 and 2011, the university has delivered 2 full years now of teaching and research, and at the beginning of a third year is well set along the path to recovery. Recovery which in itself compounds hope for a better and brighter future and brings with it a sense that we are regaining control of our own destiny. As our Vice-Chancellor has observed, we are not out of the woods yet, but the dedication and hard work of our university community have brought us safely through thus far. And the resilience of our staff and the persistence of you, our students, are the indelible hallmarks of our response to the most extraordinary period in our university's long history. The signs of recovery are all around, not least in the remediated buildings and new facilities which one by one have come on stream after the summer break and will continue to do so. What is less visible but even more demanding on our staff and the Council alike is the relentless work which is going into building a new relationship with the government as our principal stakeholder, based on the government's announced support for the University of Canterbury as a world-class institution and its preparedness to invest in our strategic development plans. It is expected that our business case for that support and investment under the UC Futures rubric will have been considered by Cabinet before the end of this year. A favourable outcome would lend new vigour and stimulus not only to the University of Canterbury, but to our city and region and to the nation itself. So much for the future. Now is the time for celebration and congratulations to our graduands. It is the time to acknowledge their talents, their commitment to the goals they set themselves, and the disciplines they imposed upon themselves, in many cases, years ago. This is the time to celebrate not only their hard work, but also their resilience, because winning a university qualification never comes easily. This is an occasion our graduands will remember for the rest of their lives. I hope that from time to time they recall not just today's triumph, but also the setbacks, disappointments and doubts they encountered and had to overcome to be here, ready to graduate today. Our great admiration goes out to those graduands who found ways to manage the challenges of our recent everyday lives here in Canterbury and the competing demands of study, family life, and a working career. We especially acknowledge those for whom university once seemed a daunting prospect, something out of reach, an impossible dream. This might have been because of a disability, because they had tried university already and failed, because they had not studied in many years, because English was not their first language, or simply because they were the first down all the generations and centuries of their family to have both the desire and the opportunity to go to university. I was one of those, and I know that many of you are too. It is a time as well to acknowledge and thank the two most important groups who have contributed to the success of our graduands. The university faculty, those lecturers, tutors, and support staff who gave so freely of their knowledge, time, and assistance. And those family members, whānau and friends who supported those graduating today. The ones who offered practical help and encouragement in times of stress and anxiety. They were critical to your eventual success. Let us note as a community and as a nation how much we will benefit from the achievements of our graduands. They are the ones who have the greatest potential to make a difference. They will contribute knowledge of the latest research and developments in their field. They take with them the ability to think on a higher intellectual plane. And as they depart, they leave with us the electric charge of success, which is so critical to the reinvention of the university. Many will become leaders in their professions. All will work in the service of humanity. Many will go beyond our shores. I know that wherever they choose to work and settle, they will use their new skills to contribute to the making of a better world. Wherever they live and work, today's graduates will be University of Canterbury alumni. They will remain family. They will become part of our worldwide community of scholars, well in excess of 100,000 strong, and comprising a global supportive network. We look forward to maintaining contacts with them and welcoming them back home whenever they choose to come. It is time now for me to say the words which, under law, give effect to the highlight of our celebration. As each of our graduands comes forward, let us call to mind their work, their commitment, and the determination which have led to this, their special moment. I now convene a ceremony of the University of Canterbury for the conferment of degrees and the receipt of diplomas. In the name of the University of Canterbury, I, Lionel John Wood, Chancellor, now confer degrees in this university upon those who are about to be presented. I call upon the Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Rod Carr, to introduce those who will present the graduands.
I call upon the Deputy Dean of Postgraduate Research, Associate Professor John Harding, to present the doctoral graduands.
Sir, I have the honour to present these graduates for conferments of degrees in Doctors of Philosophy. Irvin Leonard Michael Forgan in Art History. Sorka Jean Forgan in Cultural Studies. Carolyn Ellen Mason in philosophy. Josefina Socorro Flores Tondo in anthropology. Francis Anthony Yap in music.
I call upon the Dean of the Faculties of Humanities and Social Sciences and the Creative Arts, the Acting Pro-Vice-Chancellor of the College of Arts, Dr. Jonathan Lecoq, to present the graduands in his faculties.
Sir, I have the honour to present these graduands for the conferment of degrees and receipt of diplomas and certificates. Master of Arts with Distinction, Philip John Borrell. Master of Arts and Diploma in Adult Teaching and Learning, Li Yu. Masters of Arts, Yanyang Zhang. Master of Tereo Maori, Junior Joseph Tana. Bachelors of Arts with First Class Honours, Joanna Kate Clark. Rachel Lidwina Clark. Morgan Emily Cliff. Alice Mary Irons English. James Christopher Ferguson. Daniela Angela Mawati Cox. Frances Marie McCardle. Nicole Jane Mertens. Heather Fergus Neeson. Christopher David James Stevens. Jamie Nicole Stringer. Anna Elizabeth Sturman. Danielle Thomas. Juliana Emily Tucker. Linda Gloria Webb. Hugh Alexander Sinclair Williams. Kyla Louise Wood. Bachelor of Arts with Second Class Honours, Division 1, and Bachelor of Laws, Troy James Gillen. Bachelors of Arts with Second Class Honours, Division 1, Angela Louise Berliner. Benjamin Andrew Pym, Joseph David Soul. Bachelors of Arts with Second Class Honours, Division 2, Courtney Louise Bell. Anna Rebecca Connolly. Effa Siobhan Doherty. Michaela Ellen de Zwart Hood. Christian Paulo Nelson Kundig. David Anthony Loxton, Jingji Lu. Penelope Eleanor McIntyre. Bachelor of Arts with Third Class Honours, David Fadai Nuuhiva Lavulo. Bachelors of Arts and Bachelor of Commerce, Sarah Aline Satterthwaite. Joel Philip Tucker. Bachelors of Arts, Saxon Bentley Bilby Adams. Courtney Jade Lee Andrews. Jania Justi Anindia. Ben Barnaby Collins Appleton. Lily Loksang Bale. Beverly June Ballantyne. Leanne Beaumont. Briar Elaine Belgrave. Sanjay Manu Banabai. Shana Lee Bois. Caitlin May Bruce. Carly Lydia Burgess. Danielle Sophie Burrett. Chandel Leanne Butler. Rosaria Catherine Campbell. Claudia Marcella Carino Tobar. Semi Cho. Emma Julie Christie. Hui Yin Chue. Harriet Sarah Clack. Kate Olivia Jane Clark. Anna Michelle Commons. Mercy Michaela Cornish. Christina Pamela Dara. Hamish Gordon Rees Davies. Paige Caroline Delaney. Emily Jane Denby. Kristen Elizabeth Derrick. Michelle Jane Downs-Woolley. Kate Rebecca Duncraft. Hannah Marie Eastwood. Remihana Heta Bevan Henare Emery. Isabel Catherine Ewing. Jessica Margaret Phoebe Sim. Bella Josephine Alice Field. Lucy May Field Dodgson. Kelsey Maureen Amata Flynn. Emma Louise Foster. Tom Arthur Gillies. Rachel Frances Gresson. Joshua John Hay Ward. Reese Thomas Harker. Bridie Ann Henson. Benjamin James Hodgson. John Robert Hughes. Rachel Louise Hutchinson. Nurul Farah Binti Jamaluddin. Alice Louise Kerr. Christopher Thomas William King. Briley Rose Kingston Rogers. Zoe Nicola Williamson Klomp. Hanbin Kwak.
This afternoon's musical intermission, as it were, is entitled Little Sea Gongs, and this is a New Zealand work by Gareth Farr. He composed it as a miniature companion piece to a much larger and extraordinary work, From the Depths Sound the Great Sea Gongs. I commend it to you if you ever see it, hear it performed live. That was originally prepared for the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra. This piece started as a short drumming piece to end the composer's stage show called Drum Drag. It was never notated and is intended to be flexible in its instrumentation. Today it will be played on 4 log drums and a kick drum. The drumming style is inspired by Rarotongan log drumming and I can assure you is also a visual spectacle. In 2006, Gareth Farr was made an officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit for his services to music and entertainment. So today's performance of the Little Sea Gongs will be by Roanna Funk, Andrew Bell, Jordan Ryan Peers and Rachel Thomas. Would you welcome them, please?
Bachelors of Arts, Kirsty Anna Lawrence. Jiang Li. Megan Gina Livingston. Julia Mary Ludbrook. Lydia Mary Margaret Ludbrook. Catherine Alexandra MacDonald. Marion Eve McNeil. Caitlin Olivia Mather. Jeanette Aroha Mathis. Mikula Hannah McCabe. Jessica Astrid McPherson. Thomas Albert Mead. Lucy Rosemary Mertens. Benjamin John Mertens Carey. Unjuli Muriel Mehta. Jasmine Margaret Milnes. Marita Bolele Nauupu. Danica Deanne Orovich. Deanne Leslie Parker. Andrew Connor Patton. Hannah Elizabeth Pierce. Michael Robert Pengelly. Caitlin Jane Peterson. Julian Michael Phillips. Fergus Douglas Porteous. Carol Julia Price. Tess Elizabeth Pritchard. Richard J. Pugh. Hayley Jane Robertson. Olivia Kathleen Robin. Alicia Janice Rimu. Amy Jordan Ryan. Amelia Kate Scott. Vanessa Anne-Marie Sheridan. Thomas Paul Slater. Gemma Lee Stevenson. Katie Louise Stills. Bryony Grace Stone. Maihe Mandy Tahuhu. Darren Lee Taylor. Louise Ann Thomas. Joshua Christopher Toki. Amber Lee Trower. Emma Elizabeth Tutty. Frances Laura Terrell. William Wallace Vosberg. Kieran William Thomas Wallace. Amanda Louise Weir. Anne-Marie Louise Wilder. Joseph William Wilkinson. Suzanne Lee Wilkinson. Melissa Ann Woolley. Amy Laura Ziolo. Bachelor of Social Work with First Class Honours, Jennifer Carol Ingram. Bachelor of Social Work with Second Class Honours, Division 1, Lisa Inez Natasha Greenhay. Bachelor of Social Work, Caitlin Megan Rutledge. Master of Fine Arts with Distinction, Alexandra Elizabeth Porter. Bachelor of Fine Arts with First Class Honours, Raywin Patricia Jilks. Bachelors of Fine Arts with Second Class Honours, Division 2, Makoto Takaoka. Edward James Turnbull. Bachelors of Fine Arts and Bachelors of Arts, Sophie Amelia Jones. Claire Louise Logan. Bachelors of Fine Arts, Ida Eliza Bates. Charlotte Marie Hill Burgess. Alana Leigh Burtonshaw. Cloda Kate W. Costello. Rachel Hannah Dewhurst. David Richard Draper. Kezia Ann Fairbrother. Mirella Eugenia Glavash. Dylan Thomas Herks. John Nishal Jeet. Kia Leslie. Matthew Allen Logan. Lucy Elizabeth Matthews. Mark Joseph McNeil. Sarah Jane Moore. Sophie Rebecca Neal. Sophie Rose Peacock. Jisoo Ryu. Angus James Schoeman. Anthony Thomas Schultz. Rebecca Dawn Scott. Rebecca Wendy Stewart. Jessica Jane Ward. Andrew Robert Wilkinson. Bachelor of Music with First Class Honours, Jeremy Donald Watson. Bachelor of Music with Second Class Honours, Division 1, Jessica Juyung Lim. Bachelor of Music and Certificate in Science, Alexandra Francis Ross. Bachelors of Music, Andrew Mark Douglas Churnside. Jessica Ellen Hicks. Michelle Vanderval. Sung Won Yun.
I call upon Jenny Harper, Director of the Christchurch Art Gallery, to read the citation for the recipient of the Honorary Doctorate of Fine Arts.
Bill Colbert is one of New Zealand's most celebrated contemporary artists and is the first recipient of the University of Canterbury's Honorary Doctor of Arts, Fine Arts. A sculptor, photographer, and installation artist, Mr. Colbert has enjoyed worldwide success since studying at the university's School of Fine Arts between 1953 and 1956, receiving both national and international accolades for his work. He was recently recognised by the invitation to officially represent New Zealand at the 55th Venice Biennale of Art, and as New Zealand's Commissioner for the 2013 Venice Pavilion, I'm very grateful he did. He will show there a new site-specific installation, Front Door Out Back, at La Pietà from June to November this year. After studying at the University of Canterbury, Mr. Colbert received a scholarship to the Royal College of Art in London to study painting. Following a decade as an established painter, he developed an interest in electric light as subject for his work, exploring its qualities in a range of sculptures and installations. Mr. Colbert's transformation of ordinary and often discarded objects into an extraordinary otherness is uplifting. But despite its sometimes cheerful air of improvisation, nothing in his work is gratuitous. He combines light and other things with rare economy, producing austere and poetic works of art which invite us to refocus our perceptions and revalue familiar objects. Among his well-known public works in New Zealand are Black Stump, a 20-metre high tower in Auckland, and Fault on the facade of City Gallery, Wellington, both made in collaboration with the late Ralph Houghton. Looking back on his creative life, Mr. Colbert himself emerges as a summary of many strands of the idea of the modern artist. He is observer, researcher, recorder, selector, inventor, interventionist, activist, and provocateur. He has enjoyed success at many hundreds of solo and group exhibitions in Europe, in both North and South America, and in Australia and New Zealand. Few New Zealand artists have sustained such a high-quality, internationally acclaimed creative practice over so many years. Chancellor, I have the honour to present William Franklin Colbert for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts honoris causa.
I call upon Professor Mark Francis of the School of Social and Political Sciences, my school, to read the citation for the recipient of the Honorary Doctorate of Letters.
Dr. Feleti Savelli has achieved distinction in his home country of Tonga and throughout the Pacific for his diverse activities in public service, business, community welfare, and politics. In 2006, he became the first elected member of Tonga's parliament to become Prime Minister and was also the first who was not a member of the royal family or of a chiefly family. Dr. Savelli came to New Zealand in 1963 to complete his final year of secondary school at St. Bede's College. He proceeded to the University of Canterbury, graduating BA in 1967, MA Hons, and PhD in 1973. After returning to Tonga, Dr. Savelli served in a succession of roles, among them manager and director of the Tongan Commodities Board, senior economist with the South Pacific Commission in Noumea, director of Catholic Education in Tonga, chairman of the Tongan Rugby Union. And he also initiated a number of businesses, including farming for export and financial services. In the early 1990s, as calls for democratic reform grew, Dr. Savelli became a prominent member of Tonga's pro-democracy movement. In 1999, he was elected to Parliament as the number 2 People's Representative for Tonga Tapu. He was re-elected in 2002 and 2005. In the last year, 2005, Dr. Savelli was elevated to Cabinet as Minister of Labour, Commerce and Industries and began a drive for governance reforms in that ministry. The following year, he was appointed Prime Minister. In this capacity, he revitalized the wider governance reform process with democratic reforms to the Constitution as his primary goal. The resulting changes were enacted in 2010, and the first post-reform general election was held in November of that year. The reforms were a result of a long collaboration between himself and His late Majesty King George Tupou V, and ended 135 years of royal dominance of government. Having instituted constitutional reforms, Dr. Savelli retired from politics. Dr. Savelli has achieved prominence in Pacific regional affairs as chairman of the Pacific Forum in 2009, and in 2010 he reciprocated New Zealand aid to Tonga with a grant of $500,000 to Christchurch's earthquake relief. In recognition of his services to Tonga, he was appointed a Tongan Life Peer in 2011. Chancellor, I have the honour to present Feleti Savelli for the conferment of the degree of Doctors of Letters honoris causa.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of Council, staff, graduates, guests, families and friends. Malo lelei and greetings to you all this afternoon. Last Saturday, as my family and I arrived in Auckland, on our way here for today's graduation, that was exactly 50 years ago to the day when I first arrived in Auckland en route to Christchurch to attend St. Bede's College. Little did I know that 50 years later, I would be standing here at this podium to be conferred with a Doctorate of Letters, with the added honor of delivering this afternoon's graduation address. Today brings back happy memories of my first graduation. Like all you graduates here, my first graduation in 1968, sitting down there in the hall with other graduates excitedly awaiting our turn to be conferred with degrees. Chancellor, I'm honored and humbled by this award and invitation. And on behalf of my family, the Catholic Church and the people of Tonga, I thank you most sincerely. To our graduates, we extend to you our hearty congratulations on your well-deserved achievement as we gather here on this joyous occasion with families and friends to celebrate this significant milestone in your life. This should also be an occasion to reflect on your journey to this day and to contemplate the future and its many challenges. Reflecting on your journey to this day, you must acknowledge that you have been privileged to have been given the opportunity to read for a university degree. And you have done well. But those privileges come with obligations to society, to both present and future generations. There's no doubt that many of you graduates will become future leaders in business, in government, in colleges, and even in universities. I believe that one of the questions in education that will receive increasing attention is this. Given the ever-increasing costs of higher education, and I stress I mean higher education and not basic education, should we continue to provide it for education's sake? Or should we tailor it more closely to the needs of society? For graduates from the developing countries, whilst education has opened up windows of opportunities for many, it has not served many of our problems. Perhaps we, the privileged and educated few, need to be reminded that education without a clear moral compass can be a very dangerous thing. As to the future, Tennessee Williams defined it as, the future is called perhaps, which is the only possible thing to call the future. And the only important thing is not to allow that to scare you. Despite the future's perhaps and its uncertainties, the opportunities are there for you graduates in different fields, in varying shapes and forms and challenges and challenging circumstances waiting for you to exploit. Do not allow the uncertainties and the challenges to scare you. The university has taught you to an important degree and equipped you, but utilizing that knowledge to realize those opportunities and to use those opportunities for the greater good is your challenge. Have the courage and determination to try them. Some may never arise again. And now I'd like to share with you some aspects of my journey through life to illustrate the importance of making the most of the opportunities given to me, the importance of acknowledging those who gave me the chance, the encouragement and the support, and finally, the importance of sharing with society the benefits of those privileges. My family had little, but they saw education as the key to greater opportunities in life, and thus gave me all the encouragement that I needed. I was one of the more fortunate to have been included among those picked by the Catholic bishop at the time in Tonga, a New Zealander and a missionary of great vision and wisdom, Most Reverend J.H. Rogers, to be sent overseas for further studies. He was advised, most wisely as events turned out, Chancellor, to send me down here to Christchurch rather than to Auckland. Arriving in Christchurch straight from Tonga in the early 60s was not that easy. The beginning of winter, at least for me, a new way of life altogether, English being my second language, and no Tongans around. But fortunately, through my former principal, mentor and friend, Father Dave Mullins, a Marist missionary from Christchurch who was in Tonga at the time, who I understand is here with us this afternoon. Through him, his brother, the late John Mullins, his late wife Mary and their family, looked after me as one of their own right from the start. What a wonderful family they were. In Maragera, a fellow obedient and a fellow member of the First 15, I found a true friend, as was his late parents. I'm glad to acknowledge also the presence of Murray and Benedict here this afternoon. At St. Bede's as a boarder, I was surrounded by the Marist fathers, who were only too willing to help me settle in as quickly and as comfortably as possible, with free tuition and board. Such Christian generosity and care provided further support for me, not only in my studies and sports, but also in my getting acclimatized to the new life and environment away from home. During my undergraduate years, I boarded at Rochester Hall of Residence, and there again I was looked after well by the Maori's fathers who owned and ran the hall. I lived with 40 other students whose friendship and support to one another was an outstanding character of Rochester. When I left Rochester Hall to go flatting, I was fortunate to be awarded the Tonga Coronation Scholarship, which was funded by the New Zealand government. This was followed by a Commonwealth Scholarship for my doctorate studies. This generous funding by the government and people of New Zealand, for whom I will always be most grateful, enabled me to successfully complete my postgraduate studies. Before I returned home at the conclusion of my studies, I received a letter from the Prime Minister's office in Tonga offering me a choice of 3 jobs. I immediately wrote to our bishop in Tonga, J.H. Rogers, informing him of this letter and of my decision to honour my obligation to the church first and then to government at some future date. The response from His Lordship was prompt and decisive. Your obligation is to return home and work for the benefit of the people of Tonga as a whole. The Honourable Prime Minister and I share the same view of preparing you, returning scholars, to be future leaders of Tonga. So take up the offer. And that was the directive. Looking back at my time here at the university, I've always been grateful, Chancellor, that when I left, I was more than well equipped to take on the tasks and responsibilities I assume in Tonga. The differing yet enriching environment at St. Bede's, at Rochester Hall, at the university, and Christchurch at large afforded me, in no uncertain terms, a more balanced education than I would have got elsewhere. From Rochester Hall at the end of Billy Avenue, it's no longer there, but at the time it was there at the end of Billy Avenue, to the university in town where all my lectures were held. It was an easy, short stroll, and along the Avon River, with Hagley Park readily available. To me, all these contributed to a conducive and enabling learning and living environment. And those of us at the time were most fortunate indeed. After some 25 years of working in various capacities back in Tonga, including 4 years as Director of Catholic Education, I decided to enter politics and thus stood, as Professor Francis has said, for election in 1999. At the beginning of my 3rd parliamentary term in March 2005, as an elected politician, I was appointed together with 3 other MPs as cabinet ministers, the beginning of the political reform program that we were to undertake. Up until then, the appointment of cabinet was the sole prerogative of the monarch. And for those of you who don't know much about Tonga, she is the only country in the Pacific never to have been colonized by a foreign power. And we have the 2nd oldest written constitution in the world, promulgated in 1875, and the constitution has remained substantially intact since. 11 months later, after I entered cabinet, in February 2006, I was appointed acting Prime Minister, an appointment that was totally unexpected. 7 weeks later, I was confirmed as the Prime Minister, and as Professor Francis has said, this historical appointment of someone elected by the people to the highest office in government was in itself revolutionary, since the position of Prime Minister had always been held by a member of the royal family or of the nobility. I was deeply humbled by the trust vested in me, and I saw it as a call to serve my country. At the same time, graduates, I was under no illusion whatsoever as to the difficult and challenging times ahead. In the early months of my tenure, His Majesty the late King George V issued the challenge along the following lines. Prime Minister, he said, you and I have been discussing the need for a more democratic form of government for quite some time. Now let us complete that program, not within the next 10 years, but within the next 5 years. He added, I wanted to complete it properly and in line with our Constitution and the laws of Tonga, so that my people's freedom and security will continue to be religiously and zealously guarded and protected forever. It won't be easy, as there will be opposition from all sides, from those who want wholesale changes now, from those who want them implemented, not over the next 5 years, but over the next 30 years, and from those who do not want any changes at all. It was certainly no easy challenge. There were plenty of headaches, heartaches, tears and fears, and there were mistakes and failures. But overall, it was an experience that I shall always treasure and look back on more with fond memories than with regrets and doubts. The most satisfying part of my tenure as Prime Minister was the completion successfully of the political reform program, which involved the most extensive revision of our written constitution. The most fundamental of the revision was an amendment enacted in 2010 that involved the voluntary surrender of the monarch's executive authority and powers to Parliament and Cabinet. A surrender that can only be described as selfless and magnanimous. The opportunities I've been given in life, the joys and satisfaction I have personally derived from them, culminating in my being honored by our beloved university's invitation for this graduation ceremony, would not have come without the support and encouragement of the Catholic Church, the Government of New Zealand, and of my family. And finally, to the University of Canterbury and to my many friends here in Christchurch, I say to you, thank you very much for your support, the hospitality, the friendship that you have given me. And Chancellor, today's ceremony has capped it all. Malo apito, and I thank you all.
It is my pleasure and my privilege to thank Dr. Savelli for his address, for his sharing of his life's experiences and his insights and guidance. As we bring to a close the formal part of this ceremony, it is for me to welcome you once more to the community of graduates of the University of Canterbury, a graduate community that spans the world. In particular, it is important to recognise the extraordinary circumstances that you have confronted in the last years at the university. These are circumstances which have affected our staff and you, as students, now our graduates. You have responded and persisted in ways that are a credit to you and those who support you. The University of Canterbury is proud of all its graduates, but it is particularly proud of those who have persisted under such extraordinary circumstances. The College of Arts is not as large as it once was, but never confuse size for quality. There is no doubt that at the University of Canterbury, the liberal arts tradition is an essential part of what has made us what we are and what we will be. 1 in 5 of our students today are enrolled in the College of Arts. And the liberal arts tradition spans beyond just that college, with disciplines hosted in other colleges that might, in different institutions, be found in a College of Arts. I would now ask that you stand as we sing Gaude Amus and remain standing as the stage party leads the graduates from the hall. If you would stand.